which is it? Hold on before you swipe on by. This isn't some crazy conspiracy theory post. I just want to show y'all pork ribs in a pink salt mine. It looks very, very, very eerily similar, doesn't it? Now, what does it look like whenever they're inside these salt mines? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that remind y'all of? I'm going to show you a couple more images, and then we're going to decide if petrified giants are real or not. I should call her. Anyways, now the theories on these giants, or these petrified giants, man, are pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's all alleged. Like this right here. Look at this right here, man. That's freaking awesome, isn't it? So now back to the Himalayan pink salt. That looks exactly like bacon. Is this bacon or Himalayan salt? I mean, look at that, man. It literally looks like layers of skin, like epidermis. I'm just saying, man. I'm not saying it is. I think I might have said that already, right? Fact checkers. And remember, everybody, it's always the questions, never the answers. Always question and think about things, because, I mean, I was eating Himalayan pink salt for a long time until I came across the Dr. Regenerated, actually. Y'all should check his page out, man. This is where a lot of these pictures came from. He was one of the first ones that, I was like, I want to be a creator like that, man. Yeah. I had like 5,000 followers. It's crazy, man. True inspiration, dude. Him and a lot of others, man, who I'll mention in the next video.
Now, I've been around the block a few times, and I've seen a thing or two. And I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, I don't mean to be rude. I've seen them big, and I've seen them small. You see, I believe in petrified giants, but this brings a whole new meaning to hard as a rock. Oh, you son of a bitch. You see, there's petrified giants everywhere, but what about the insides? What about the insides? You got people walking around, going into caves. Brother, that's not even a cave. It's a female reproductive system and a ball bag. So the next time you go out and you walk into a cave, be careful, brother, because it might not even be a cave. Oh my days.
Have a look at Dragon's Neck Mountain. Now, many people, including myself, believe that this is a giant petrified dragon. Dragons were spoken about throughout all of our ancient cultures, throughout religious texts. It is one of the animals in the Chinese zodiac, all real animals in the Chinese zodiac, with the dragon as well. Now, there are hundreds of examples of this, but this is perhaps my favorite. This was discovered during a renovation of a cathedral in Naples. You can see the dragon. This is our real history. The evidence of this can be found all over our world. Petrified beings, snakes, dragons, scales like this, Naka cave, Naka means snake. You'll see, it's all over our world, guys. All over our ancient history, all over our past. These are dragons. They're dragons. Like, come on now. The evidence is so clear. You just have to listen. Listen to what our ancestors told us. Listen to what all these religious texts told us. They all depicted these creatures. And then you have our society, which is run by the Satanists, which rewrite all of the history and tell you lies to keep you ignorant to, the real origins of humanity. Perhaps when we see all these melted old buildings and structures, like this as well, and like this, it might make you think that dragons were involved. But let us know what you think in the comments down below, and make sure to like, share, and follow for more hidden truth. Peace and love.
Do you see this? Do you see this? It's freaking nature, and it's freaking awesome. Woo!
It's hard not to see it. The evidence of our mud fossil and petrified past can be found everywhere. And it really truly is amazing just how many people are waking up to this fact. And much like the mud flood, once your eyes are opened, you see it everywhere. And with that, all these newly opened eyes are bringing forth more and more evidence daily. It's the one good thing that social media has brought. True citizen journalism. Opened eyes and open minds catching what they see in this world and finding the beautiful truth that holds. Like the fact that geology is nothing more than hardened biology. Mud Fossil University on YouTube. I highly recommend checking it out if you want to learn more about mud fossils. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
So y'all, true story, be simple and watch this video to the end. Petrified Giants. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Let's go. No, 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 no! I'm telling you guys, get out of there now. They're alive. I told you, they exist. You think it's a game, bro? I'm telling you, get ready. Shh. What is that? Who is that, man? What was that? Huh? What if it was taking a nap? What if it was relaxing, recharging in the sun? Stop playing with me, son. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and there's no way that can exist. There's no way that's possible. That was special effects. Somebody did that. Shh. Shut up. You know what time is it, guys? I told you about the day in the mountains. Get ready. You think it's a game? Let me show you something else. Come on. In various mythologies and folklore, giants are often depicted as being turned into stone, often as a punishment or as a result of divine intervention or exposure to magical forces. What the Shut up! Who said that? Huh? Now, guys, I Googled this. Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game, alright, guys. You think what's going on? Yeah, they exist. What if that giant was taking a nap? Turned into stone, magical forces. What are you talking about? Stop playing with me, son. It's not a game, alright, guys. And I think you know what they're talking about. But I'm not gonna say it. Because it's nothing to say. I just showed you. He was taking a nap. He was recharging. Shh. Don't you say it. Stop playing with me, son. It's getting real out here, guys. And you better be careful. But I tell you one thing. If I'm ever out there and I see a giant turned into stone, sitting somewhere relaxed and catching a tan, I'm just gonna make sure I don't go there at night.
Living creature at one time. They've put in some metal and rebar and stuff to try to bring it back because it's falling apart. And they are all falling apart. This is the tendon of the leg. That is the actual blood running out of his leg. You see this tendon? Look carefully at this tendon. All right? You see his arm up here? Look carefully. You have to understand anatomy and understand where the muscles are and the bone is and so forth that constructs the body. Now let's see if we can find something like that in a human being. No, you don't get any closer than that. Then that's what the tendon is. It's just what it is. And then the blood, of course, is in the muscles.
Oh, we've got your ass. We've got your ass now. So you want to know where all the remains are of the people wielding these axes? That's good. That's real good. And you go on to say, it would have been so massive, you wouldn't have missed it. Well, that's just the thing. You did miss it. The reason why you ain't seeing no remains of these skeletons, because the whole body has been petrified. You see, what you don't understand is we're living on a mass graveyard. A mass graveyard. Sometime in our history, this realm went through a catastrophic event, turning many things into stone. The evidence is everywhere, but the eyes are useless when the mind is blind.
These giant great beasts petrified in stone. I don't know what happened to this world, but it was strong enough to petrify these giant great beasts right where they were standing. It must have been a really evil time for this to happen. Or could have this just been an unfortunate accident that this happened to this giant world and we only see glimpses of its petrified past?
Gigantic humans did exist. They are petrified. Research Tartarian.
It was all written about, no question whatsoever. They wrote about these things happening, things turn into stone. Look at this. This guy, I've shown this 100 times. Leg, that's the tendon that runs down the leg. That's the blood at the bottom of his leg. This is literally his kneecap. This is the fleshy area. It turns to stone. The fleshy part turns to stone. Blood and the real fluidy, wet stuff doesn't. It stays inside. And it will leak out eventually, just like this one is. This is as strange as it gets, and I am just as baffled as anybody. But look at this. What the hell is that? It's something with like spongy-looking legs on it, and I don't have any idea what that is. And this guy is saying, "What did you do to me?" Look at him. Look at his face. And that's what they said. And they were amazed when this stuff happened to him. Right at the very first words, he says, "I intend to speak of forms changed into new entities." Now listen to this. Accompanying this theme is often violence inflicted upon a victim whose transformation becomes part of the natural landscape. Now listen to this. There's a great variety among the types of transformations that take place, from humans to innate objects like the river, constellations, turn them into animals, from forms like ants and fungi into mushrooms and humans and they used to call them alchemy and alchemists. Just insane stuff. I don't know how to say it. It's just beyond what the normal human mind can even conceive of. If there are any friends here, turn your face away. And he held up the Gorgon's head. As he prepared to throw his deadly javelin, he was frozen like a marble statue. In the act, Empix, next to him, thrust his sword straight at the heart of the courageous descendant of Licinius, and in thrusting, his right hand stiffened, without movement, this way of that. But Nilus, who falsely claimed that he was born of the Nile, with its 7 mouths, his shield engraved with its 7 streams, part gold, part silver, cried, Perseus, see the sources of my people? It will be a great consolation to you to take with you in death, to the silent shadows, the knowledge of having fallen to so noble a man. The last echo of his voice was cut off in mid-flight, and you might believe his mouth still wished to speak, though it was no longer pervious to words. He turned to stone and said, ah! Eryx rebuked them, saying, lack of courage, not the power of the Gorgon, freezes you. Rush in with me and knock this youth and his magic weapon to the ground. He had started his rush, but the floor held his feet fast, and there he stayed, unmoving stone, a fully armored statue. This is the key, a fully armored statue. They don't turn naked. Everything goes to stone. Now listen to this. Phineas is turned to stone. They all deserved the punishment they suffered except one of Perseus's warriors. While he was fighting on his side, Acontius saw the Gorgon's head and took the shape of hardened stone. Astyages struck him with his long sword, thinking he was still alive, and the blade gave a high-pitched ringing noise. Ting! While Astyages stood there amazed. The same power transformed him, and he remained there with a wondering look on his marble face. It would take a long time to tell the names of the middle ranks of men. 200 bodies survived the fight. 200 bodies were turned to stone. This is how they turned him to stone. Now, how it happened, I don't know. For the life of me, I can't imagine looking at something and that would cause you to turn to stone. Somehow that thing is, something was coming out of it. Now, these guys that were next to this statue said they can feel some kind of presence. They can feel some kind of energy. There's a great variety among the types of transformations that take place. And this, I'm telling you, as far as I can determine, that was a living creature at one time. I've looked at it very carefully. The blood running out of his leg and all of this different discoloration, the kaolin clays of the face different than the rest. He's strangling a little dragon here. And they still won't consider to look at it. The more educated they are, the less likely it is that they can conceive of this being reality, even though the reality is smashed into their faces.
Hey yo, peace fam, Source God, Orion TV, bang, 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 more life family, bliss up, abundance, and I don't know already, grand rich rising family. Yo, so to get right into it, family, this photograph was taken by a gentleman named Lee Fugue. His name is up there, you'll see it. This is Derbyshire Peak over there in England, right fam? And as you can see, family, this is like a petrified fish, all right, or something like that, maybe a bird or something like that. But this is a giant petrified animal from the antediluvian world, family. Yo, there's too many examples of this, family, for us to take it for granted. This is not just regular rock formations. And they're trying to say that that eye is formed from frost or something like that. I'm like, bro, get all the way out of here. This is a petrified giant animal from the pre-flood world, family. When they said that giant creatures and animals used to run around, you know, there's like giant mushrooms, giant snakes, giant fucking birds like this or whatever, you know what I mean? All kinds of gigantic life forms and examples of the expansion before the shrinkage, right, fam? And remember, family, when the flood came down, it came with a lot of mud and water and stuff mixed in it. And when it washed over these fucking creatures, it literally just froze them in place. They get drowned, and then it covered them over like sediment. And then it was like they got petrified, family. And it was like instant. This shit was like a giant flash flood where the waters reached up to like the mountains. And I think a lot of the craters you see in the earth, those big ass craters, they're not from fucking meteorites. They're from water shooting up out the ground, yo. Yeah, man, and that's how the earth was flooded, from the waters from below. It was like it just opened up and all that water flooded up. That's why there won't be another flood like that, fam. This time it's fire from the sky. But yeah, this is just an example of the old world, family, what we used to have, or what used to be around before the destruction, before the mighty flood, fam. Yeah, so anyway, you know, tell me how you feel in the comments, because this is just my postulation. But anyway, it seems sound to me. There's no way that these things are just regular. Yosemite said just some natural formation. Yeah. So like I said, family, y'all stay up, stay bliss, and I'll see you in the comment section. Bang, bang.
Fossilized giants are captured by drone images in several mountains around the world. Huge rocks the height of buildings and in difficult to access places. Researchers are not sure how they are made or whether they are actually fossilized beings. Which beings would have done this without technology? Would be just mountains shaped like giants? Or something not described in history books?
There is evidence all around the world of the existence of an ancient giant species much larger than we can possibly ever imagine. I believe a cataclysmic event such as an asteroid colliding with Earth is responsible for petrifying these giants, covering them with water, rock and ash and instantly freezing them in time. Just look at the size and detail of some of these structures, guys. Now there's just absolutely no way that water and air erosion over time has left these rock faces in these formations. Everything points to their existence being erased instantaneously, and the rock formations left behind tell the true story of their past. It's not just giant rock formations of humans either. All over the world there's evidence of giant animals being petrified also. Huge beasts on a grand scale that once roamed this earth. Giant mammals, reptiles and birds can be found all over the world in these petrified rock formations. Now, skeptics will say that these rock formations are just a naturally occurring thing and we're just seeing the faces and shapes in them that we want to see. But I'm calling bullshit on that. There is no denying exactly what these animals are. I don't even need to say the animal name and you already know. Look at the detail in the way the rock is formed and compare that to its real-life animal example. Now, there is some speculation that the pink salt mines is actually the petrified flesh of some of these giants harvested from the earth. These photos and videos show the similarities and truth that these salt rocks were once.
So everybody heard about the story of the petrified giants inside of the Bible, right? I think I just might have came across something that y'all might find very interesting. So all over the world, people have been finding these strange, mysterious crystals that resemble and look like tissue and muscle. See, as you can see right here, this is the crystal. This is like a steak or something. Another one, This is another one looking like layers of fat, muscle, and tissue. Once again, another one. Y'all can't tell me this doesn't look like muscle and tissue. They even made furniture out of it. And see, now what we was just looking at was a crystal that was called rhodonite, which is a manganese silicate. And see, now the craziest part is you can find manganese inside of the body. Yeah, stored inside of bones and small amounts inside the liver, brain, kidneys, and pancreas. And it also helps the body maintain stable tissue. Don't you guys just find that very interesting? Now I guess it is more to the mystery about the Nephilim and the giants that we know. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the giants and these strange flesh-like crystals found all over the world in the comments. Like or follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. Yeah, make sure y'all share this to somebody that does not know.
Just like that. Now, so now they're going down to this Egyptian, and you can see it sure looks like it's like a statue. But then they came to here, boom, and I was just blown away. That's the guy's ribs. There's no question, those are his ribs. Those are his ribs all the way down here. That is his lung. It's the right colors for the ribs, the marrow of the ribs. The red is from the lungs, and the part of the lung picks up stuff that is a different color because it's being transitioned into oxygenated. Then just below that you have the liver and so forth. And I mean, it's I don't know what else to say. This is an Egyptian that was petrified. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer than that. There's his ribs. Boom, 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 boom. You can see him coming wrapped around.
They was telling us that this is just a statue, y'all, but I beg to differ. Then we all know at one point in time, a lot of these Nephilim giants have been petrified, right? Y'all, the truth really be in plain sight, yo. Now, that's like, even if this wasn't that, let's just say even if this wasn't that, they still paying homage to some type of being, bro. Husky, though. Hold on, I zoomed in on the screenshot, y'all, so you can get the details. Look at his eyes, bro. It looked like he came out of the cave and something happened and he just got stuck like that, yo. Real rap. Then look at the how it's covered up behind right there. Things like that exist all across the world, y'all. Some faces be more visible than others. Look at this one. Y'all, the truth literally be in front of us, yo. Y'all, I'm getting back on the Popball podcast this week, y'all. Make sure y'all turn on y'all notifications for the live, you feel me? And we go!
A horse? A serpent? Could this be petrified? Or man-made? This is strange. If it's petrified, maybe that snake was about to eat the horse. This is really strange though. I think this is in El Jovo Waterfall, Colombia. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments, guys. This is really strange. Could it be man-made? Or is it petrified? Who knows? Very strange, though. Very strange. Wow. I'd like to know the history behind this, though. What really happened here? Nice place to visit. Do you guys think this is petrified giants? Or this is just man-made structures for attraction? Share your thoughts in the comments. Peace.
Look at these gigantic swords that would have to be used by something that's like a few hundred feet tall. An account called Unchained Actual sent me this video showing these gigantic swords. Now, I looked around trying to find any news articles of these findings and couldn't find them anywhere. But we do know the Smithsonian seems to swoop in and kind of cover things up. But this sword is public, and look at the size of this thing. It's got to be like 7 feet long, and it's made from the snout of a sea creature. Also, this sword was recently found in Japan, and it's 7 feet 9 inches long. This can be found as public record as well, and there are way more records of giant swords that are found and even on display in museums. Now, what about these? If these were real, do you think that they would make it public record? Do you think this is a leak? Or could it be just really good animation and AI? Let me know in the comments. Oh, and then of course there's the other angle that these were just art pieces that were made. But in that case, why hide it? Why cover it up? You know, just display it as an art piece. But that really, really big sword, I mean, I don't even want to know the size of the creature that would have to hold that thing.
Watch till end. If you needed further proof that we live on the remains of a much larger past, and that geology is nothing more than hardened biology, let's take a look at where a trendy and popular ingredient you might have in your cabinet came from: Himalayan salt. You tell me what these caves look like. Let's take a look at some of that salt taken out of these mines and collected into a pile. Now, do those not look like slabs of meat or what? Here's a closer picture of one. How about now? If pork ribs aren't your cut of choice, don't worry. There's many other cuts to choose from here. In the right conditions, after a great flood-like event, buried and covered in sediment, these petrified beings became the new mountains and hillsides of this realm. If you aren't convinced, let's do a few more side-by-sides. You got rock and meat. One of my favorites, you got bacon, and you got bacon rock. History is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon, and the same goes for most all of academia. The truth is in the hillsides and in the mountains, hidden in plain sight. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
And I was thinking we're doing my course with my Uncle Frank Florida. There was some so that's spelled so tangle cold stuff, both of those that I'd say.
This isn't a rock at all, but the fossilized remains of a prehistoric creature. On a remote island in Iceland, there's a massive cliff that looks exactly like an elephant. Not just vaguely. We're talking trunk, forehead, ears, wrinkles, everything. Locals call it Elephant Rock. Scientists say it was formed by volcanic basalt. But really, lava did this? By accident? Some believe it's not a natural formation at all, but a petrified relic from a forgotten age. A giant beast turned to stone by time or catastrophe. And it gets weirder. Satellite images show oddly symmetrical ridges along the back. Almost engineered. Why is there only one? Why does no official geology paper explain its precision? What if this rock is actually evidence of a long-lost species? Or proof that Earth's history isn't what we think? They want you to believe it's just a coincidence. But look again, and follow, because this might just be the beginning. You won't believe it, but this South African farmer has found the fossilized footprint of a real giant on his property. Approximately, this footprint could have belonged to a man about 190 feet tall. Later, archaeologists decided to explore the area in more detail and found something amazing there. They dug up this giant ring weighing 10 pounds, and its owner was clearly of gigantic stature. But what happened to these giants, and where did they go? Some answers are given in sacred scriptures, such as the Bible. You're probably all familiar with the biblical story of the flood, and many are sure that God decided to flood our world to punish the giant biblical creatures, the Nephilim, who betrayed him. Curiously, recently in the Indian Ocean, during the study of a sunken aircraft, was found this giant helmet more than 6 feet high, and later there was also found this giant blade. Supposedly, all these things belong to the Nephilim, who couldn't escape the flood, but some supposedly still managed to escape high up in the mountains. And all over the world in various mountainous areas, they continue to find these giant doors, which are definitely not made by humans. I don't want you to know this. Why does Himalayan salt look so much like flesh? Here's the hint. We're living on the remains of a much larger past. Ancient texts like the Book of Enoch describe the Nephilim, giants born from fallen angels and human women. Enormous, powerful, with knowledge far beyond human capability. Think about it. The massive doorways no human could use, stumps of trees bigger than skyscrapers, and giant skeletons unearthed across the world. Are these just myths or traces of beings erased from history? Some believe these giants were part of Tartaria, the empire of impossible palaces and star-shaped fortresses, structures too advanced for their time, unless giants with hidden knowledge built them. But the story darkens. The Bible says God was furious at their chaos and sent a great flood to bury them all. And what remains today might not just be stone, but their petrified bodies. So here's the question. Could geology really be hardened biology? Over millennia, their flesh fossilized into the pink salt we mine today. No wonder Himalayan salt is famed for mystical healing. What if every crystal carries the essence of these ancient giants?
The world were covered in giant trees.
This series, I'm going to allow myself to let my imagination run wild. These are the sarsen stones of the stone circle in Avebury in England. And I just wonder if they might not have placed these. This is the largest megalithic stone circle in the world. It dwarfs Stonehenge. But I'm seeing a lot of the same kinds of shapes, and maybe they chose these rocks for a very specific reason. Those look a lot like pulmonary arteries to me, and you've got the harp shape there once again. And again there. Might just be my imagination running wild, but
you can see it's got the teardrop shape. If we look at it from the side, it dips in a little bit on the underside, and it comes up on the front side, and there's the what looks like the remains of an opening. It's an indentation, both at the top and at the side. And so this is very likely a petrified heart.
These rocks have all got the same shape of Africa, or like a harp. They're nearly all whole pieces that haven't been broken.
Yeah,
we can
this
see
one has a fracture, and
this
that's
one
actually revealing the ventricle, the largest of the chambers of the heart. Those are the pulmonary arteries going in right there. On the back side is the entry for the aorta, right here, and then you've got the exact same configuration here.
Look at that.
This one's way more detailed with the papillary muscles, which are the muscles that open the valves of the heart.
You can see
and then you've got the aorta back there, and you've got the opening for the coronary artery. This is known as the coronary sulcus, where the coronary artery sits, and it sits above this fatty portion of the heart. So that sulcus is there, and then it goes around, and there's the other entrance. So
it's amazing
this
that
one
you've wet
rock
it
has
as well.
20 different anatomical correlations.
And it's
just one rock.
And
then
the
each of
colours
these
from
are
being
following
wet.
the same pattern, though they don't have the same degree of detail. But here you can see the openings to the pulmonary arteries there.
That's a beaut, that one, how it's
Yeah.
cracked at the bottom. And I love how they go so fleshy when you've got them wet as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just insane. All different colours from all different kinds of animals or beasts. And like you say, they can have different indentations because they can be petrified when they're either expanding or compressed. And
Yeah, a lot of critics would say that you know, I'm cherry picking my information, you know, but you know, here's another one. You can see it's the same. This one broke, but you can see the same openings and indentations. It's not always an opening. Sometimes it's just the remains of an opening. But this one, it has that shape, just like the others that we're talking about. A lot of times, the bottom will be either curved inward or flat, and then the top will have this shape, but it'll also oftentimes have like a three-plane thing coming off, like going one direction, another direction, and another direction, and it'll be typically flat on top, like all of these are. And but then, so you have the planes, and then the bottom will be either flat or curved inward, and then you'll have that upside down teardrop shape.
Yeah.
This one, my partner, she found it, and she asked me if I wanted it, and I was like, well, it's not as detailed as I'm looking for, so we were going to leave it. So she tossed it, and it broke open, and it revealed the inside. Wow. And this is what's known as trabecula carne, which I show in one of the videos, petrified organs, giants' hearts, and how to spot them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that mean, trabecula carne?
Trabecula carne is the internal portion of the ventricles, and how you see it in the video. It basically looks like flesh.
Yeah.
So this is a good example of one that might be able to potentially reveal some DNA if I
yeah, it looks
I
like
need to figure out how to get
there's
it tested.
some juice in that one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
well done, Mike.
You can see up here. There's a bunch of little ones here. And they come.
So yeah, you can find these on beaches, pebble beaches. You can find them on riverbeds, dry riverbeds. They're everywhere. You can find them up the mountain.
Look at that. There's even a blood vessel up there on the right. And another equally as big, also with openings. And hopefully you haven't jumped ahead without actually knowing the anatomy, because otherwise you might just think I'm crazy thinking that these were once the hearts of gigantic beings. But I'm pretty convinced. Hope you've enjoyed the presentation. share and tell your friends. Go looking for some of these yourself and see if you can find them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these salt mines are dead giants. Y'all cannot tell me these salt mines are not dead giants. Bruh, this looks like chunks of meat. Are y'all kidding me right now? This looks like bacon or pork chops. But this is salt from the mine. This looks like blood. Look at it. Look! This looks like the inside of a body. Look at it. Look at it. Bro, they're all just petrified bodies from giants. Look at the resemblance if it started to become petrified over time. Look at it! Look at this one. This one looks like a woman. Look! Look! They all over the world. Humanoid-looking entities that are in the shape of mountains and islands and caves. Just look at this one. This is the original image. This is what it originally looks like. But then when you flip it to the side, it looked like a body. Look! You think it's stopping humanoids? Nope. This is like a big ass snake, a big ass petrified snake. It still got the scales. They call this Gorilla Island. Bruh, look at that big ass gorilla. Look at it. It's all over the world. Look at that elephant. Look at that turtle. Oh my God. This world is a lie. The whole thing is a lie.